Well, hello there and welcome to the Shoo Rayner drawing school, and today I'm going to show you how to draw this haunted house. But let's not talk about it, let's do it.
Well, I had an email just very recently from Vay567 saying, how about drawing a haunted house? And I thought, yeah, that's good, because it's Halloween coming. Well, it is while I'm doing it now. Halloween is in a few days' time. It's about 10 days' time. No, about 9 days' time, something like that. And I thought that would be a really good idea. And it would also carry on my kind of house series, but in a different kind of way. So I'm going to be thinking about this. I was thinking about, what makes a haunted house, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, that it's that kind of thing you get, like on what's that film? Psycho. That's the word I'm looking for. That the film Psycho, and that kind of house that you get on Psycho is kind of classic, isn't it? And I think all the monsters and everything else is kind of built on top of that. So that's the kind of thing that I'm going to use as a kind of a plan. Now, I was showing you about perspective before. Look, if you take that line there, this line will be disappearing off down there somewhere. So we're looking at it from underneath and looking up under, because that just kind of makes it look a bit more scary, really. And this is so we're looking up under the eaves of the building like that, and we kind of build it up in sections. It's just lots of boxes, really. And you're going to want that. I think this is a bit too big, actually. I'll just do that very, very quickly and make this a little bit smaller, because it's not all going to fit, I don't think. That's better, yeah. So this will be kind of disappearing off down there, and then these lines will be disappearing way over somewhere like that. And all these will be down here somewhere. So we made a box, basically, okay? And then these will be the eaves of the house, like that. And then I'm going to have this really steep kind of. So this line here, which is kind of, so that should be kind of coming up there like that. That would be going there. That's kind of got it. So you've got that kind of really steep, weird kind of haunted house roof. Okay, so that's the kind of the main part of the block, and we got these kind of curves. We take a line around there, and we've got a kind of a curved round bits like that. Good. And then on the front of the house, then we have a whole kind of extra portion. So if we think that this is kind of where it sticks to the house, and then again, if we kind of think of it as being a box that sticks out, this line will still be coming to meet this shadow point, vanishing point. Vanishing point is the word I'm looking for. So all these lines here will meet somewhere down here in one point, and I'm just kind of imagining where they are at the moment. That line will come around there, so we'll still have that kind of curving bit, and so the roof on the front bit will be kind of like that. We want this again to be, and it's all kind of leaning backwards, and we'll have a kind of weird kind of railings on the top like that, and then we're going to want a kind of a circular window in the front. So if we kind of draw an ellipse, and then this that kind of gives it look, makes it look like it's kind of going on a sloping back roof. Okay. And then halfway down here we're going to want the porch, which will kind of come out like that, and again all these lines will be going down to the same vanishing point, and we're going to get a kind of pattern like that. And on the front door, we can kind of imagine that the front door is going to be something like that, with a window on the side, I have window there, I have a kind of triple window there, window on the side, and Yeah, should we have another one there? That would just make it a bit more interesting. That isn't, you don't get that on the Psycho house, but it would just make it more interesting. I'm just going to start adding some extra kind of bits and things as I think of them, like that. Okay, and then on the Psycho house, it's actually kind of what do you call it? Blah 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 blah. My brain. Drawing and talking at the same time. What am I? Yeah, it's kind of up on a hill all on its own, but I'm going to give it some trees and maybe kind of the moon in the background, something like that, so we get a shadow going down that. Should we have some steps? Somebody asked me if I could draw steps. Sorry, I can't remember who it was. It's just kind of come back to me. I thought if we put some kind of steps going up to the house like that, and then we'll, where are we? Yeah, then that's kind of a bit like that. Good. Now let's start inking it in. I'm going to start with I'm using a 3, and I'm going to start here because this is kind of the bit that's the absolute nearest to you, and I've said this many times to kind of draw the bit that's nearest to you first. And the reason being, then you can kind of hide you can kind of place all the bits in behind it. I think we've got a little bug there. Somebody would have complained about that if I hadn't pointed it out. Let's do the same on here. Whenever I get my studio is a little shed in the garden, and so I kind of breed bugs here. Well, not officially, but lots of spiders and things. And if ever I get something crawl across the page, someone always comments "spider" at 6 minutes and 17 seconds or something like that. So I've beaten you to it this time. Right, let's put. I'm going to put the. I probably should have done something like that. I'm going to put these in as the kind of the gutters on the side like that. So I kind of go like that, and then we're going to get these kind of blocks curved. I don't know what they're called. What do you call them? Buttresses or something. On a stone cathedral they'd be called buttresses. I'm not sure what they're called. It's the eaves anyway, isn't it? It's the eaves, and these are bits that kind of support the roof up from the eaves, and they kind of make it look that bit more pretty, or is it scary? And I don't know what. It's funny, I think every town probably has its kind of haunted house. There's some old house which kind of gets left to kind of fall to pieces, and I guess, you know, the old lady who lived there died, and haven't found who the family was, and nobody knows who it belongs to now, and the house slowly falls apart, and maybe the drunks and the winos start going in there and messing it up a bit, and it starts to fall into disrepair even more, and then the kids kind of go and play up there, and they start telling stories about it, and before you know it, it's the haunted house. So that's the kind of the back part of it. I'm just going to put these little curls on there. Those are the kind of lightning conductory bit thingies. And then I'm going to put the porch in next, and I'm doing these kind of we'll have a kind of gutter, so everything has this kind of double line really, because it's a wooden house, and that's just kind of the way these things are constructed. I'm going to go up there like that to there, to there, and around, kind of like that, and then we'll put some kind of, that'll make it look like it's kind of patterned in there. Okay, and then we're going to have across the bottom, we'll put kind of grass and stuff like that. Okay, and then we're going to want to have that kind of a roofy kind of feel to it. And again, so with a wooden house, you kind of got this construction where you have a bit sticking out, and then all the the planks kind of fit to that edge, so you'll always have that kind of nice square fit there. Now if we do something like that, another one there, another one there, and we're going to want these to be what's these kind of windows called? My brain is not working today. Sash windows, that's right, yeah. So it's drawing and talking at the same time that does it. I've said it many times before. It's because you're engaging two different parts of the brain. It's a left brain, right brain thing, and I keep meaning to do a talk about left brain, right brain, and how it kind of all fits in with that kind of thing. And I'm not sure if we this should probably be. It doesn't quite look right. And then we want kind of a double line coming on the corner there. A double line coming on the corner down there. That's in there, that's in there. We're going to want a double line in there. And if we get the doorway in, like that. And then we want another side window. And another side window. No, because that, I've got that on the wrong side, haven't I? Never mind, I'll see if I can get rid of it somehow, because we'll have to follow, again, the planks will be following this line of vanishing point here. And similar, so that will be there. Let's get that into those windows like that. And I'm going to put the kind of roof tiles on there now. And I'm kind of not following the. I think now I'm almost got it. So that's kind of following the line of, again, the vanishing point there. And we'll put these in here. How are we doing for time? 12 minutes. Cause I thought this might take a long time. I was thinking of painting it as well, and I thought, no, it's going to be about 2 hours to do this. So people keep asking me what paper I use. This is really quite cheap kind of drawing cartridge. We call it cartridge in Britain. I think in the States it's called Bristol paper. I'm not sure. I think that's how it is. I must get that really sorted out. But we call it cartridge. It's cartridge because it's kind of the paper that gunpowder cartridges were made out of. I guess originally that's what the cartridge means. So where the Bristol comes from, I don't know. Bristol is a town in England originally, and so I suppose there must be a Bristol in America as well, I should imagine. Just about every English town has its equivalent in America, because the people who left that town went to America and kind of set up their kind of new version of the town. Let's do that. And the pens I'm using, people keep asking me, I'm using my Rotring Tikky Graphic, which I really do like, and pencil, I don't know what it is, Faber Catell 9000 or something. I'm not really that bothered about pencils. I just really like soft. I like drawing with soft pencils. I quite like mechanical pencils because they use a different kind of lead. So wooden pencils tend to be graphite sort of baked with clay, whereas the mechanical pencils are kind of baked with a polymer or something, and so they do kind of seem to. Camera just stopped and blinked. So I hope you haven't missed anything. So the moon in there. Let's see what we can do. Now that you're not going to see the side of these steps going down. There we are. So what we're going to do is let's do that, and then we'll start to see a little bit of the top of the step as it goes down. So does that make sense? Yeah, there we go. And we'll have a bit more like that. Eraser, there we go. And now we're going to want these blanks in on the side, and these again will be following that vanishing point. So these are not actually parallel, they're all kind of coming to a point down here. And again, these ones will not be parallel, they'll be going to a point down over there somewhere. And you can see that the window should be following the same lines somehow. And like that, and be another window in there somewhere. Like that. And I imagine we'll want to put some kind of dark shading in there like that. I think this is going to be much longer than I imagined, but right, I'm going to just scribble in the background of the trees like that, very, very quickly. And we're going to need some more of the like that. And just trying to think, this will be. I think the moon is coming down that way, so this is going to be really kind of. You're going to get a lot of shadow on the ground over here. You're going to get a lot of shadow under the porch, so you can kind of shade over where you've drawn already, like that. I'm trying to think. So this will be, these sides will be lighter, and so I'm going to shade in over the top like that, and then this will be darker. So everything on the front of the house really will be dark, and you want to have quite dark windows like that. And you can be quite scribbly in a way, because you know, you've got, if you just kind of scribble it, it gives a kind of a hint of shininess to the glass like that as well. And that'll be there. And then, so let's get the front of the house here. There's going to be a shadow falling across there like that. And again, we want this side to be dark, and just shade right over the windows and everything that's on that side. That will make it same on that side, going up there. And then I'm going to do the same here, but I'm going to make it kind of get lighter here so that this edge shows up better. And again, we really need to make this kind of dark in there, and have more kind of grass and stuff kind of going in there. More shading like that. And I'm just going to make this much darker around the edge so that we can get a silhouette to the tree, so it just sort of shows the house up more. I think I would do this sort of shading in very, very differently if I didn't feel like this is getting out of hand and turning into rather a long drawing. And try and make that quite dark to make all those bits stand out. I hope you've got more time than I have to do this. Like that, and then I'm just going to kind of put the night sky in around the moon like that. Stars, things like that. There we go. And just make that more random, then that might help it look more like the trees, which it really doesn't at the moment, because I'm just trying to really concentrate on the house rather than the trees. So there you go. I hope that helps. And I hope you have a great Halloween. Mind whose house you knock on. I don't think you'd want to go and knock on that door. Just in case. Oh, I'm still not happy. I want to put more in around there. I just want to make that really much darker. I'm just kind of looking at it in the camera really for the first time. Make it much, much darker around there. There. I hope that gives you some idea anyway. So remember, these kind of proportions are looking down from underneath. That's going to give you the kind of the slightly scariness, and that's all these kind of weird proportions. You're going to find it's much darker in there as well, and you can bring that kind of out like that. Yeah, which will then bring this forward a bit. So there you go. Hope you enjoy that. Have a great Halloween. Keep drawing, drawing, drawing. Practice, practice, practice. And I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye bye.